BWOne here from BWOne.com, and let's talk about the new iPad that Apple announced today. So I have my notes here, so there's a lot of stuff to talk about, so you see me looking over, I'm looking here at my notes. One of the big things about the new iPad is that it's not the iPad 3, it's not the iPad 2S or the iPad HD. It's just simply the iPad. So Apple's just keeping the naming simple, just calling it the iPad, which kind of makes sense because if you look at this iPad, it looks similar to the first iPad and the iPad 2 in terms of its looks, but as far as specs are concerned, it's a lot different ballgame here. So one of the biggest things is the new Retina display on it. Its resolution is 2048 by 1536 or 2048 by 1536 resolution on it. It has 3.1 million pixels on the screen, which is the most that you've ever seen on a mobile device. And it has 264 pixels per inch. So this is going to be one of the sharpest, brightest, and crispest displays that you're going to see on a mobile device. And it's going to be really impressive. If you're impressed with the Retina display on the iPhone 4 and the 4S, this is also going to be pretty impressive as well too. It's supposed to have about 40% more color saturation on the screen as well. So I'm really excited to see how the screen really looks. It also has a quad-core processor, A5X quad-core processor from Apple, which they tout that it's going to be 4 times better the performance in the NVIDIA Tegra 3 processors, which that's still kind of out there. We don't have any benchmarks yet to know if that's true or not, but at least we know it is a quad-core processor and it's going to be able to compete with NVIDIA Tegra 3, which is on the Android side of things. There's also a 5 megapixel eyesight camera, so the camera optics have been improved across the board because it also supports 1080p HD video capture as well too. So that's really good to hear. You're going to be able to take some decent pictures with your tablet. I don't know how many people are going to take pictures of video with a tablet, but at least you know you have a good camera, and if you want to take that shot or take that video clip, you can do that on the new iPad. It also has 4G connectivity on both LTE and HSPA. So for here in the US, which is mainly LTE for 4G here, Verizon and AT&T are both going to support 4G LTE here. And also in Canada, it's going to be Bell, Rogers, and TELUS. That's going to be the LTE partners in Canada. They're both going to support LTE up to 73 megabits per second, and you're going to be able to use it as a personal hotspot as well too. That's going to be available in the new iPad, and as long as the carrier activates it as well, or the carrier allows it. So that's pretty cool that that's going to be available in LTE. We all know it's really fast speeds, so that's going to be really impressive to have. And for non-LTE markets, it's going to be 21 megabits HSPA plus and DC-HSPDA at 42 megabits per second. So you're still going to get some really fast 4G speeds for non-LTE markets, which is mostly like international, sort of overseas in London and, well, in Europe rather, not just London. It's 9.4 millimeters thin and it's about 1.4 pounds, and it's, with all these specs, it's still supposed to keep the same great 10 hours of battery life, and on 4G it's supposed to have 9 hours of battery life. So that's pretty good. I'm also not sure if the 9 hours is on 4G with HSPA plus and on that side of things, or it's 9 hours on LTE. That's going to be the big test there to see how well LTE is, in terms of battery life, is going to work on the iPad, considering that LTE is known to be a big battery hog, especially on the phone side of things. And there's been some software updates as well to the iPad. iOS 5.1 is available today, so it should be available, I believe, across the board for all iOS devices. They've added voice dictation as well. It looks like a little Siri icon. You don't have Siri on there, but you have voice dictation. Supports multiple languages, so you can just kind of talk to your tablet and have it type out what you want, of course. And iMovie has been updated as well, and now iPhoto is available as well too, and that's available as a download, so you can use that on the iPad too. So for your photo buffs out there, you want to play around, manipulate your photos and things of that nature, you have the camera adapter for the camera in there in iPhoto. That's going to be pretty cool for you guys to have. Now, one disappointing thing, well, maybe not so disappointing depending on where you're at, who you are, it is the same pricing as before. So the Wi-Fi tablets start off at $499 for the 16 gigabyte version, $599 for the 32 gigabyte version, and $699 for the 64 gigabyte version. And for the 4G plus Wi-Fi version, you're looking at $629 for the 16 gigabyte version, 32 gigabytes is $729, and $829 for the 64 gigabyte version. So close to, like, if you want the 64 gigabyte 4G plus Wi-Fi, you're almost looking at $1,000 if you package in any accessories that you buy with it, and also the data plans you're gonna need with it as well. I mean, that's pretty expensive. That's getting up there. So no type of lowering the price down in any way there. So that's a little bit disappointing. But overall, the features are pretty good in this. I feel like they did make a real significant update. I think a much bigger update than they made last year with the original iPad 2. But I'm going to let you guys discuss that, share your thoughts below here in the video, share your thoughts at BWOne.com, and let us know what you think of the new iPad. So this is BWOne here from BWOne.com, reminding you to subscribe to our YouTube page, Follow us on Twitter, become a fan of our Facebook fan page. Also, check us out on Google+, circle us over there in your circle of tech. Also on Pinterest as well, so be sure to follow our boards on Pinterest as well. And the links to all that and our main website at BWOne is in the description. And always remember to live your tech world in high definition.